You're listening to The Edge 105 FM. 105 FM. 105 FM.
Jamaica's most informative real estate program has found a new home. It's Real Estate Today, now on The Edge 105 FM. Tune in this and every Wednesday at 8 a.m. during Top of the Morning with Richie B for Real Estate Today, sponsored by Howard Johnson Realty Limited. Real Estate Today is a 10-minute feature designed for you, the buyer or the seller, the renter or the investor. Tune in and learn more about valuation, surveying, mortgage. We'll provide tips on renovation, maintenance, latest design trends, and do-it-yourself ideas, as well as connect you with key service providers. It's a program not to be missed. That's Real Estate Today at 8 a.m. Wednesdays on The Edge 105 FM. We're seconds away from that feature right here on The Edge. Just want to thank once again P.A. Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century, for sponsoring the hour between 7 and 8 this morning here on The Edge. It's now exactly 8 o'clock. And we're just about starting an hour, brought to you courtesy of Law Insurance Brokers. One call for all insurance. And you can get them today on this number, 876-968-1100. They are between 8 and 9, sponsored by Law Insurance Brokers. And to start the hour, we have our usual feature, Real Estate Today, which kicks off right now. And like we have been telling you all morning, we do have a very interesting subject for you in Real Estate Today, which is, of course, sponsored by Howard Johnson Realty Limited. They're located at unit number 15 in the Ligony Post Mall in Kingston 6. And the topic that we're looking at today is budgeting for a new home. There's a lot of planning that comes with buying a home, and before you make that big purchase, one of the first things it is recommended that you do is to ensure that you have a budget. Our guests to share this and give us some tips on all these matters this morning are Howard Johnson Jr. himself from Howard Johnson Realty Limited. Let me say top of the morning to you, Mr. Johnson.
And top of the morning to you too, Richie.
Welcome. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm feeling good.
All right. There was a little scare earlier because I think somebody tried a particular number and got a recording. So I wondered if I had to find another way to reach you, but it didn't come to that.
No.
Not today.
Not today.
All right. We're also joined by Nicole Lawrence, who's an attorney at law and a partner at Howard Johnson and Lawrence Law Firm. Good morning, Nicole. How are you today?
Hi, Richie B. Good morning to you and your listeners. I am doing well, and I hope everyone is. Hi, Howard. Very nice to meet you.
I will attempt to have the same degree of energy that you just displayed throughout the morning, Nicole. And, since you are so engaged and ready, I'm going to start with you this morning on the subject of budgeting for a new home.
Yes.
Why is it important to create a budget before one purchases a home, Nicole?
All right, let me first start by saying this. There is a misconception held by many purchasers, especially first-time purchasers, that the purchase price covers everything. Let me start by saying that's a no-no. You have many other fees associated with a budget, with a purchase, and your budget will help you significantly with handling your purchase. So it's very important to set a budget, as it helps you to pace yourself financially. You're able to know what you have to spend and what you have access to. Also, when you need it. So you're able to manage your spending, and in many cases, you're even able to save if you have a budget. And it will let you know if you are ready to actually purchase. Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned that there are some other, it's not just the purchase price. Give us an indication of what else persons will need to be putting into that budget.
Now, and I want everyone to listen keenly. And we do this at our consultation, and most attorneys do an estimated statement of cost.
Okay.
And give it to our clients so that they're able to know what you need and when, what is shared, what's upfront, and what comes at the end. So one of the first things you need to know first and foremost is what kind of purchase are you doing? Are you doing a cash purchase or are you doing a mortgage purchase? Those two will let you know what type of budget you're going to have. Because with a cash purchase, you'll have to upfront everything out of pocket. While with a mortgage, you will know what it is that you can get from a financial institution. So that's the first thing you need to know. Are you able to handle a cash purchase fully? Or do you need to go and get pre-qualified?
Mm-hmm.
So once you get qualified, let's take it if we're doing a mortgage purchase, which is more common.
Yes.
As not everyone will be able to find 14 million, 16 million in cash. Not everyone has that. So the first thing you'll need to do is go to your financial institution and get pre-qualified. So they'll tell you just how much you are able to borrow. So that way you'll know the type of property and where you can buy. I'm sure Howard will go into that at some point.
Mm-hmm.
No, so that's the very first thing. One of the first costs that you'll have to pay, and you must have this in your budget, is the big bad deposit. The feared deposit.
Yes.
Everyone is always concerned about where am I going to get this deposit from? What am I going to do? I really love this house, but the deposit. Now, we must commend the government as last year we saw a significant reduction in the amount of fees that you'll pay in association with a sale. Example, stamp duty is a flat fee now of only $5,000, right?
I wanted, just before we go on to those other fees, though, in relation to the deposit, usually that range is in what, 10%?
Yes.
Minimum?
So this is what I'm getting at. No.
Okay,
So
good.
traditionally, your deposit is 10%. But with the recent reduction in fees, most persons are now taking 5%. And Richie B, you know that this is the difference between paying $1 million and $500,000. That's a big difference.
Yes.
And that cost is up front. So imagine now you're able to pay $500,000 and you can use that other $500,000 to complete your sale or even do renovations when you purchase your home.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big difference.
Yes.
So traditionally, 10% was accepted, and some persons still ask for 10%. But in our practice, we try to advocate for 5%, and we encourage our vendors when they're selling for 5%. It gets the sale moving much quickly as persons are able to come up with a deposit much quickly, and we're able to end, and the vendor can get their money. So that's the deposit. So your deposit has to be in your budget so you're able to know how much you have to put up front. What if you're going through a mortgage? There are some costs that are associated with getting a mortgage, and each institution is different. The good thing about it is that the same recent reductions that we saw last year saw a lot of mortgage institutions competing, and their interest rates are very low, and the fees to facilitate the transaction is also lowered. So now the cost for that is reduced, and that's another cost that you need to have in your budget if you're going through a mortgage. Very important. And if you're doing a sale, whether you're doing a cash sale or a mortgage sale, you must do these things. And this is another cost.
Mm-hmm.
Your valuation report.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know what you're buying and if you're buying it for a fair price.
Yes.
If something happens, how much can it sell for? What's the community like? What's the building like? How much money can I get if something should happen? And just, is the purchase price the right value? So you need your valuation report.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, depending on how old the property is, you may need a structural engineer report as well, right? Another important diagram is your survey ID report. You need that. You need to be able to know where your boundaries start and where your boundaries stop. You need to know what exactly you're buying. It's another important diagram. And for us, we have a miscellaneous cost, right? And this covers us checking the title. That's another cost. And also doing what's called a caveat search. Richie, there are so many situations where a person tries to sell a property that's not theirs. So we have to do a title pull. All right?
Yes.
We have to do a title pull to ensure that the person who is saying that they're the vendor can actually sell to you. We need to know if we can actually sell the property free of any restrictions, which is why we have to do the caveat search.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we need to know if there's a mortgage on it. And even if there's a mortgage, the vendor's attorney can assist and help with the sale there. And we need to know if there's any caveats, because sometimes persons put caveats on a title and it's not able to sell. So that's another cost. You need to know the cost for the agreement for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this cost varies. It can be anywhere between 60 to 120,000, could even be less, could even be more, but that's a general range.
Mm-hmm.
This is a cost that is shared, and the vendor and purchaser pays each half. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Now, from your deposit, there are some costs that come out of it, which I was mentioning before, which is your stamp duty, your transfer tax, your transfer fee,
Mm-hmm.
right?
All of these have to be
Accounted for in your budget.
in your budget.
As well as your legal fees as well.
Naturally.
And this can be anywhere up to 3%. Some attorneys may charge more or they can charge less. It really depends on how complex the sale can get.
Mm-hmm.
If it is that if you're acting as a vendor, though we're speaking of the sale from the purchaser's perspective, for a vendor, they'll have to have the realtor fee deducted from the purchase price. But for the purchaser, you need to know what your legal fees are. Some attorneys will charge anywhere up to 3%. Can be more, can be less.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, your letters of possession. This is one of the more lower-end costs associated with your budget. And for these letters are what you're going to take to your utility companies and to the tax office to let them change over the ownership information to your name.
Mm-hmm.
And the cost can be about anywhere between 15 to 25,000, and this is also a cost that is shared as well.
What we've learned, obviously, from Nicole Lawrence is that it's not just to have a deposit that will allow you to go through. There are some other costs that you have to budget for. And this is why what we're highlighting this morning is the importance of having a budget. How it's not just about buying, though. It's also about maintaining the home. Does that also factor into the budget?
You have to, Richie, because at the end of the day, if you do not factor for the after-sale cost, you may lose value in your property because it's being run down. So you have to factor the upkeep, the yard upkeep, your property taxes, if you're living in a strata, your maintenance fees, insurance, and just general eventualities that may arise from time to time, sewage pulls, sewage issues, repairs. Mm-hmm. And if you are not prepared for those expenses, then you can allow those things like a sore to fester and become bigger problems down the road. And when trying to dispose of the property, you might find yourself in a challenge because you ignore some of those maintenance type expenses. So it is very important that you plan for the after sale.
Would that be as part of the emergency fund that is also suggested?
I would say so, because you need to have something just in the event that something takes place, and you know that you're not just buying the family for yourself, it's usually for yourself and your family. Mm-hmm. And you would want to make sure that if something pops up, you are in a position to help yourself to do emergency repairs and whatever it is that may come and that is unexpected. Always make sure that you have some sort of reserve as part of your, or what some may call your contingency, as part of your budget.
In closing, who can help the purchaser with coming up with that budget? Is it the attorney and or the realtor, or either?
Either, really. Firstly, as I indicated, we do what's called an estimated statement. I'm sure Howard would also assist his clients with a budget as well. And a combination would be very good, because the attorney generally assists you with before and during, while Howard can assist you with the after. So for us, our estimated statement allows you to pace yourself financially. Mm-hmm. And when we get the information from the mortgage company, it can also be included. So you can have that concise budget, and you're able to know what exactly you're paying and when you're paying it.
Sounds good. Mm-hmm. Howie, let's move on to the deal on the edge, because that is a very important part of this presentation. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. We're ready.
Time now for the deal on the edge. Here it is.
Serene gated community in Forest Ridge, just about 3 to 5 minutes from the foot of Red Hills. We have 3 bedrooms, 3-bathroom townhouse, which features panoramic view of the city from the private balcony. It's 1,675 square feet, open concept. The complex has an infinity pool, a gym, and 24-hour security with backup generator and water storage system. We're asking Jamaican $180,000 per month for this 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom townhouse. You may contact Denise Tucker at 404-5842. That's Denise Tucker at 404-5842. It is ready for move-in.
All right. And how can you be found, Howard, just in case persons want to make contact with Howard Johnson Realty?
You may visit our website, www.hjrealtors.com. You could call our office at 876-620-1457 or check us out on social media using the handle at HJ Realtors.
Great stuff today. Thank you, Howard Johnson Jr. And thank you, Nicole Lawrence, for the information you shared with us. Very, very important information. Great having both of you. And you have yourselves a wonderful day now.
You too, Richard. Thank you.
All right, take care. And I want to leave you with a tip. Before house hunting, analyze your monthly budget. This will give you a clear perspective of what you can afford and will allow you to